Folks, welcome back. I have your latest home prices and insights for the City of Toronto for week ending December 21st, 2022. Christmas, the holiday season, we are well into it right now. If you had some time to spend with family and friends, good for you. Hope you had a great time. Hope you're enjoying these holidays. 2023 is right around the corner. Wishing nothing but health and prosperity to you, and I hope 2023 is your best year ever, drama-free. Let's get into the numbers. If you want to speak with me about your real estate situation, selling, buying, it's really simple. Below this video, in the description, you'll find a link to my calendar. Click on that, book a time that's convenient for you. This way, I'll know ahead of time and I'll make sure my schedule is organized so we can talk about whatever's on your mind. Okay, let's get into the numbers. We have here City of Toronto only detached properties broken down for a year, broken down by week. I have up to week ending December 21st here. Now, as you see these numbers heading into the holiday season, and at the time I'm filming this, it's actually the other side of Christmas now, and we're approaching the New Year's. Through this whole holiday Christmas season, it's absolutely normal. Sales go way down. It's very normal. So kind of, look at these numbers as a point of interest, but understand they will be going lower. That's just normal. So 57 detached properties were sold for week ending December 21st. 8 of those were at $2 million or more. Average sold price came way down from the previous week. It's now sitting at $1,429,000. 1 million, oh, my clicker here. 1,429,000 is 14% lower than last year's average sold price. This year we sold 8 properties at $2 million or more for the same week last year. It's a whole different world this year versus last year. Last year in the same week we sold 29 properties at $2 million or more. The median price of $1,270,000 is 11% lower than last year's median price. Looking at the dotted line here, which is the 4-week moving average, we could see over the span of about 2.5 to 3 months, average sold price and median price is coming down slightly. Not aggressively, but there's a slight slope downward. Compared to last year, year-to-date sales, we have 33% fewer sales this year versus last year. That's just for the City of Toronto. If we look just on a weekly basis, this year, for week ending December 21st, we sold 57 detached properties. In the same week last year, 145. Completely different world, like I'm saying. Of the 57 that sold, 39% sold at list price or more. Last year, it was 74% selling at list price or more. Listings, we have 10% fewer listings this year versus last year. So I'm going to go back to the sales. I've said that I've shown here the sales are way off what we've done this year in sales versus last year. Listings, not that far apart. We sold 80, we listed 80 this year. Last year, for the same week, we listed 90. So sales, big difference. Listings, not so much. And we have 3.6 months of inventory. That's for the whole City of Toronto. So average sold price came way down. Months of inventory went up a little bit to 3.6. Let's look at Toronto in 3 sections: West, Central, and East. So we have Central up here. Average sold price came down. The green is West Toronto, average sold price stayed the same, and East Toronto, average sold price came down. Taking a closer look at West Toronto, 27 detached properties were sold. 3 of those were at $2 million or more. Average sold price stayed the same as the previous week at $1,368,000. 1,368 is what it was a year ago. So what it was a week ago, it's also the same price it was a year ago. Median price of $1,298,000 is 0.5% higher than what it was a year ago. And looking at the 4-week moving average, is it coming down? Is it staying the same? It's hard to tell, but there hasn't been much movement over the last 2.5, 3 months. Months of inventory in West Toronto came down quite a bit. It's now sitting at 2.9 months of inventory. Here's Central Toronto. Only 15 detached properties were sold. 5, a third of those, so 5 sold at $2 million or more. Average sold price way down, the lowest it's been in a long, long time, now sitting at $1,908,000. $1,908,000 is 17% lower than last year's average sold price. And the median price of $1,615,000 is also 17% lower than last year's median price. Using the 4-week moving average as a guide to spot a trend, does look like over the span of 2.5, 3 months, prices have been coming down. Months of inventory, it's been climbing every week for a while now, sitting at 5.6 months of inventory. Here is East Toronto. 15 detached properties were sold. None of those sold at $2 million or more. Average sold price plummeted down to $1,059,000. $1,059,000 is 24% lower than last year's average sold price. The median price of $1,012,000 is also 24% lower than last year's median price. So big difference year over year. And the dotted line, the 4-week moving average, it's pretty clear over the span of 2.5, 3 months, prices have been coming down. Months of inventory jumped up, sitting at 3 months of inventory. And for East Toronto, which is East York, Scarborough, Beaches, that whole East Toronto area, months of inventory has been under 2 for a long time. We're now at 3 months of inventory. That's a big difference for East Toronto compared to where months of inventory has been. Here's a summary of looking at the 3 areas together. East Toronto normally, not this week, but normally has the higher sales. In this case, it doesn't. It's tied with Central Toronto. But East Toronto does have lowest average sold price, lowest months of inventory, lowest median price, and that's where more sales are normally generated because of the price point. Here's semis. Let's take a quick look at semis. 19 semi-detached properties were sold. 2 of those were at $1.5 million or more. Average sold price climbed up to $1,184,000 for the average of the 19 semis that were sold. $1,184,000 is 10% lower than last year's average sold price, and the median price of $1,142,000 is 1% higher than last year's median price. 4-week moving average, it's pretty clear though that prices have been coming down over the last 2.5, 3 months. Months of inventory climbed up over the previous week, sitting at 2.4 months of inventory. Here's townhouses. 11, that's it. Only 11 townhouses were sold. These are freehold townhouses across the city of Toronto. Average sold price is right now sitting at $997,000. That's just for the 11 townhouses that sold. $997,000 is 22% lower than last year's average sold price. The median price of $900,000 is 33% lower than last year's median price. Now, remember, only 9 were sold, so these numbers, they don't give a really good picture of the true total average. It's just only for the 9. Months of inventory sitting at 1.5. Here's condos. 128 condos were sold across the city of Toronto for last week. 24 of those were at $1 million or more. Average sold price shot up, sitting at now $797,000. $797,000. That's 10% higher than, we don't say that too often these days, 10% higher than last year's average sold price. Median price of $655 is 1% higher than last year's median price. Looking at the 4-week moving average, pretty clear. Over the last 3 months or so, average sold price and median price have been trending down for the condos across the city of Toronto. 128 were sold this year. Last year in the same week, 332 were sold. 36% fewer condo sales this year versus last year, year to date, and 10% fewer listings. Months of inventory, it's been in the balanced market state for a while now. We're sitting at 4.2 months of inventory. 36 is the average days on market. Here's a quick summary. You know, months of inventory, as prices go, well, as more and more inventory gets out there, less sales are happening, we expect months of inventory to go up, and at the same time, we expect prices to be coming down. That's assuming inventory levels continue to go up and sales continue to drop. But any of those things change and we could see something else. For sure, everybody's wondering what's going to happen this fall, what's going to happen this spring, in the first quarter, January, February, the next rate announcement. And everyone's going to continue to wonder until it happens. And when it happens, I'll report it here right away. You'll know the true numbers. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.